Hello, good morning, or good evening, whenever you're watching this. I hope you're doing well. My name is Catherine, and welcome to a bookshelf reorganization. So my bookshelves have recently got a little out of control. All of these are stacked 2+ deep. I recently got a new bookshelf. This is a shelf my bookstore was throwing away, and I immediately scooped that up. I also, at this point, don't even know what's on my bookshelves right now, so I need to do some organization, figure out what I've read, what I've not read, what I need to read. Here's the rundown of what we got going on right now. There's also currently books on the ground because I just filmed a couple videos. That's also something I have to deal with. Right now, all the way at the very top is YA contemporaries, and we have mostly YA fantasies with there's a couple contemporaries right there, because I didn't want to get the stepladder out and put them back up there. I have historical romances. I have mostly contemporary romances with a couple historicals. These two shelves are fantasy. Down at the very bottom are a bunch of arcs and miscellaneous. Over here, trinkets and things. That is gonna stay that way because that's just, oh, what's happening. These are some of darker fantasies, but also some other various random things. These are actually the most unorganized. They're miscellaneous. Currently on the shelf right now, I have a bunch of random arcs and books that I have acquired within the past couple weeks. I did also get my box out of storage of my Grishaverse books and my Cruel Prince books because I'm going to be seeing both Lee Bardugo and Holly Black in the next couple weeks, and I needed to get them out so I could decide what books I wanted them to sign. So I want to reread all of them. The biggest thing is trying to figure out what exactly I want to put on that bookshelf there. I'm thinking 5 different things. As you can tell, this is really well thought out. Thing number 1, TBR, unread books. My only problem with that, I don't know if they're all gonna fit, and I don't know if I really want to see that. Also, as I finish the books, I would have to move them over here, and that seems like a lot of work that I don't really want to have to rearrange my books every time I finish a book. So there's that. Idea number 2, special editions. I have quite a few special editions. I think it'd be cool to have them out on display on that shelf right there, but you don't really see those in my videos, so I kind of would want them on this shelf here so that you could see them in my videos. Idea number 3 is make it genre specific. So I guess 3 sub 1, make it my contemporary and historical romances, or 3 sub 2 would be make it my fantasy books. I think I have too many fantasy to put over there. So because romances tend to be shorter than fantasy, I feel like I'd have more luck doing that. So I'm kind of leaning that way of my contemporaries and my historicals. So those are the ideas. Let's make it happen. I should also note, I do have another shelf right there that has nothing on it, and I haven't decided what to do with that either, so that might be my miscellaneous shelf. Things like nonfiction, biographies, random literary fiction that I happen to have. I've already come to a bit of a problem, and that problem is I've already filled up those 2 shelves. I haven't even finished with my historicals, so we may have to do some double stacking again, unfortunately. Is what we're gonna do. We're keeping the shelf romance, but only books from Berkeley. Anything that is published by Berkeley is gonna go over here. Everything else over there. I think that's what's gonna work. I think I have the majority of my romance books are from Berkeley, so. Since that last clip, a lot has kind of happened. I basically finished my like romance shelf over there. So that is like all of my romances that are not Berkeley. This entire shelf is just books from Berkeley. I decided to like put those there because they all line up really nicely. I also, since then, made a video that you can watch somewhere that is all of the books on my physical TBR. So I had to pull out so many books. I did also reacquire all of my Grishaverse books, as well as all of my Holly Black books, because I like went to a couple events where I met them and wanted to get their book signed, and then I was like, you know what, I just we're keeping those with, so I have to find places for those. I don't even want to think about like when I do finally move and I have to pull out all of those books from storage. That'll be fun, but that's future Catherine's problem. Currently what I have going on, I'm like pretty happy with from here to here. Way up there, I don't even know if it's in frame, but way up there is all of my like contemporary YA. Here is mostly YA fantasy. I do also have my like copies of Hellbent Ninth House here. Here is my Grishaverse shelf, and then like directly behind it is all of my like dark academia books. Not ideal to be double stacking, but it is what it is. And then we have my Berkeley books right here, and here is more like fantasy, mostly YA fantasy. So my idea, because I have, you can't see it, but there's just a pile of books right here. Again, go watch that video to see just how many books I still need to read. But I do have a pile of books right here. And because these, so it's these 3 shelves and then these 2 shelves are like mostly kind of empty right now, I'm thinking I'm just gonna clear them off and start from scratch. And I do have a shelf right there, like a little tiny shelf over there. So here's the idea, and as we know, things change. So bottom shelf is all going to be arcs. This shelf here is going to be some more fantasy. This shelf here, it kind of has to stay small because this this shelf is stationary, and this shelf holds like all of these things. I probably shouldn't have like my Disney ID showing, but yeah, so because this shelf kind of has to be this size, it made this one really small. So I'm thinking this is going to be kind of like some of my like self-pub romances, and maybe some like fantasy romances are going to be here. This is going to be probably a combo of fantasy and maybe some romances. And then I don't know what's going to happen down there. And then that the tiny shelf is going to be like miscellaneous books. Ones that I'm like, I don't want to get rid of, but I don't like need offhand, you know? That's the plan. So step 1 is going to be taking everything off of these 5 shelves. I was kind of thinking actually maybe this shelf here just might fit all of my like Holly Black books. I have no idea if you can see that far down, but I did organize all of my arcs in like release date order. So those are all down there. The where it like stacks up is start of like books that haven't come out. So as I read them, we'll see how I decide to organize them. But yeah, that's completed. Yay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna tackle the shelf here. I'm just gonna start doing fantasy. Actually, no, I changed my mind. I'm gonna test out my like Holly Black theory on this shelf first, just to see if they can fit. I'll fit on here, because if not, then I'll probably do those there. Okay, I think I have everything that I'm going to get on these shelves up there. You may have noticed I just kind of gave up in the end on those 2 bottom shelves. I am unhauling some books, which is a big deal. The last thing to do is to put everything else on the brown shelf over there, and then I'll be done. Hi, so I have officially completed all of my bookshelves. It's been a couple days since I finished filming. I did like a couple adjustments here and there, but for the most part, yeah, we did the thing, which is great. Things definitely didn't go as planned, and I definitely either need another bookshelf or need to get rid of some books. We all know what's actually gonna happen. And then I'd get another bookshelf at some point. Let's do a little tour of how things kind of came out and everything. I did have to break out the step stool. This is such a funky angle, but you know what? We do what we gotta do. So up here, we have all of like my YA contemporaries, plus Last Night at the Telegraph Club, which is not really contemporary technically. It's like a YA historical, but non-fantasy YA books, basically. Yeah, it's a wide range of books from like my actual teenagedom to books like just currently. Moving down a step, I have no idea what this looks like right now. We have fantasy. I have like all of my like Ninth House and Hellbent copies. Behind them, I have like all of my Chloe Gong books and Elizabeth Lim and other like various YA fantasies. Coming down to a somewhat normal angle, I have all of my Leigh Bardugo books, so all of my Shadow and Bone copies, my Grisha trilogy copies, my most recent acquire. It's the Arc of Shadow and Bone. Behind this is my Dark Academia books, so all of my copies of the Atlas 6 and Atlas Paradox, as well as my copies of Book of Night by Holly Black. I have several of those. I'm not going to pull these down to show because that seems like a lot of work. And then down here, as I talked about, these are all of my romance books put out by Berkeley Publishing. And my 3 copies from the Illumicrate Afterlight box that are like Berkeley books, and then just all my various Berkeley books. Moving down to here, we have just kind of a lot of YA and adult fantasy. It's all kind of mixed up. Most of these are special editions from like Illumicrate or Fairy Loot. I have, of course, my copies of Diviners. Love those. And then one more that I cannot get low enough to show you is my ARCs that is on the bottom shelf. Moving over to these shelves here, these two, my entire Elfheim collection. So all the Cruel Prince books. I do also have Coldest Girl in Cold Town in here, which isn't part of the Elfheim world, but yeah. But yeah, all of my Cruel Prince, Stolen Air, these beauties, and then over here we have Darkest Part of the Forest type and Valiant, which are not in correct order right now. I don't have the 3rd book also for some reason. Down here, kind of an interesting thing happened. Became a lot of like my Greek mythology retellings here. All of my like monster alien romances here. And then all of my like self-pub copies of Olivia Blake books. Lastly, down on the floor, which I'm not going to be laying on the floor to show you, but it's a lot of various things, some self-pub, my Kennedy Ryan, my more literary fiction, a couple fantasies, there's some graphic novels in the back. Yeah, this one is just a hodgepodge of things. There is no way to show this shelf without showing my disaster of a closet, so please ignore that off to the side. I'm begging you. These are the rest of my romances. I have historicals here and here, and I have anything that isn't a Berkeley romance and what you didn't just see on the bottom shelf. My stack of Anna Huang, all of like my Avon books, other various like Red, White, and Royal Blue, some St. Martin's Press, etc., etc. These are also all double stacked. So, yeah. All right, there we are. That is my bookshelf. That concludes my bookshelf reorganization, which has taken me like a month to finally complete everything and do this final walkthrough. Thank God I'm done. As I acquire more books, I'm sure things are gonna look crazy once again, but at least for now, I do have places for things, so that's nice. As always, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you get notified every single time I post. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, bye!